You are now tuned into the hottest podcast on the net, man. Tough Love Podcast.
It's DJ Guate. We're right here live at AE University. It's authentic or nothing. You are now watching the Tough Love Podcast.
We with Tough Love Podcast.
Tough Love Podcast.
The Tough Love Podcast.
You tuned into the Tough Love Podcast.
Tough Love Podcast, baby.
Well, one thing is for sure. I'm always guaranteed to run into a music artist that don't understand the music business, and that's cool because a lot of us, music executives, a lot of music artists, a lot of people that's in the industry right now, at one point in time, did not understand the music industry. You know, the thing about it that I always say is that that's not an excuse. So, you know, that's like somebody saying, you know, just because I don't know that this is a crime, I shouldn't be convicted of committing it. But as we all know, ignorance of the law is never an excuse. So, with that being said, ignorance of being an artist is not an excuse to not know exactly what you're supposed to be doing in the music industry right now to basically build your brand. I think that a lot of artists have a lot of time trying to understand exactly why they are not catching a buzz. And I know it can be confusing. I know it can be frustrating. I know a lot of artists sit back and look at other artists who blow up before them and they're like, oh man, this dude or this girl's not nearly as talented as I am. All I need is a chance. All I need is a shot. Why do they get to get a shot? Why can't I get a shot? You know, I know a million different thoughts run through an artist's head because of the simple fact that I look at it from different perspectives. A lot of people don't. A lot of artists don't look at their career. They don't even look at the music business in a whole from different perspectives. Because if you did, you will understand why everybody's role is everybody's role and what happens in those roles, right? You will kind of get an understanding of why artists, that's trendy artists in most cases, blow up before artists who are twice as talented. And a lot of times, you know, you might not catch it. But at the end of the day, you as an artist are responsible for finding out what you are missing within your brand. A lot of y'all do not research. A lot of y'all sit back on social media all day and you do no research on what it takes to get your brand over to the next level. You feel what I'm saying? You sit back watching all these millionaires, rich, living great lives, you know, and you're not getting none of it. But you can commentate on everything that they doing. You can elaborate on everything that they doing or that you know of. You can go back years and pull up albums and all kinds. You know people's background better than you know your own. And that's crazy to me. So, it's only crazy to me because you would know that much based on research that you've done over time or you've done in a short amount of time. But you don't know what you need as an artist to build your brand and to get your brand to the next level. And that's because you failed to do the right type of research. And that's just the bottom line of it. You know, y'all out here watching people make content, you know, content creators. And people are becoming rich, famous, just by being content creators. Artists don't even look at the simple things that it takes to be a music artist, an entertainer, right? Because nowadays you're wearing several hats. When you are a music artist, you're not just a music artist, you're wearing several hats. Mainly because when you become a music artist, for one, you don't have everybody in place that you need in a place to, really propel your brand. So you have to be every single position that you don't have until you get that position filled. You know what I mean? So if you're not the manager, guess what? You gotta learn how to be a manager. If you're not a, a graphic designer and you don't want to hire one, you gotta learn how to be the graphic designer. You know what I mean? If you want to, send out email blasts, you gotta know how to do email marketing. If you don't want to hire nobody until you get that position filled, that's exactly what you have to be. You know, you can't say, "Oh, I don't know how to send out emails," or "I don't know who to send emails out to," because the research is free and it's right there in your face. But y'all refuse to just ask Google the question, how to send out an email blast, and then do the research on that and see what works best for you. You know what I mean? Y'all don't like to ask Google what is email marketing so you can understand what exactly email marketing is to help your brand. You don't ask Google what is a promotion manager and what is their job, and Google will tell you that. They'll give you multiple different variations of what that person is in your realm of whatever you're doing. Ask the question. Whatever you feel you missing. A lot of y'all go to music executives, managers, and y'all say, "Hey, I need a manager," right? So if the manager come to you and asks you, "Why do you need a manager?" and you give them, some type of reason, whatever it may be, as to why you need a manager, why can't you simply do that for yourself? You know what I mean? Like if you know what to sit down and ask a person for, why don't you know how to ask or go about getting on the internet and researching exactly what you need for yourself, so you don't even have to put that job into nobody else's hand? It's solely yours, and that way you know it's gonna get done right because you researched it, you figured out what works best for you, and that's what you're going with. Now, I know it sounds easy. I know I'm making it sound real easy. I know as an artist, life happens itself. Life itself takes up a lot of time. So the music, of course, takes up the other half of the time. You know what I mean? And it may be a little uneven sided. It may be more music than life, and it may be more life than music. But at the end of the day, it's definitely gonna be unbalanced, and I get it from that perspective. So I'm not sitting here telling you something that I know is non-realistic, and I know that, hey, you can't devote and focus 100% of your time and your days into music and what you need to do as an artist. But just think about as much time as you fuck off during the day, doing absolutely nothing. It's like, how serious are you? You know what I'm saying? What are you willing to sacrifice in order to get to the next level? Are you willing to sacrifice that little bit of time that you fuck off doing pretty much nothing to research what you need to do as an artist? Or is that time that you fucking off your pleasure time and you don't want to give up your pleasure time? What are you willing to sacrifice? That's the question. Because a lot of y'all artists don't understand that music comes with sacrifice. Being a music artist comes with sacrifice. You have to sacrifice something that is close to you and something that you want the most. Even if it's just time away from your family. That's a big sacrifice to a lot of people. But sometimes that's what it takes in order to get to the next level. if you want to see your family living good forever, or if you want to be with them now and y'all struggle forever. Pick a side. That's all it comes down to. You know, thing about it is that when you have a dream, you have to work hard for it. You can't expect people to feel the same way that you feel about your talent or your dream, whatever it is that you may do in life. So you have to establish that into people. You know what I mean? Like, we may all see the talent, but we may not see the dedication. So it gotta come around full circle. And like I said, I know a lot of artists out here don't really know where to go for the most part. It's hard. Every day you wake up, don't look at the right numbers. You putting a little bit of money behind it, and it just doesn't, it's just not making sense. I get it, man, but that's just the struggle of it. You gotta keep going. If you give up when you done put so much into it, then you already locked in. So you gotta keep going. You know what I mean? Now, I ain't never saying don't get a job, don't have some type of financial means to support your dream, to support your family while you chasing your dreams. You know what I mean? But the person that's willing to sacrifice the most will gain the most. I can guarantee you that. Sometimes people sacrifice working a job for music, even when the music is not paying. Let me say that one more time. Some people sacrifice not working a job for music, even when the music is not paying, because that's how much they believe in their dream. And it may be something that we don't see that they do. They get it, we don't. And sometimes they may be wrong, but you know what? It's all about taking a chance, a sacrifice. If you don't take chances out here, if you don't sacrifice nothing for whatever kind of dream you may have, I don't know how far it's gonna go. I just wanted to touch on that topic with y'all because I do get a lot of inquiries from artists that, they always seeking management for the most part. And when it's a, why do you need management question, the answer to it always seems to be because I'm not getting enough exposure. And I always tell artists, a manager can't get you exposure. A manager manages exposure. We don't acquire it for the artist. That's something that y'all are sadly mistaken about. We don't manage something that's not ready to be managed, okay? Not every artist is ready to be managed. And the way that I can put that is that you have to establish yourself a little bit before you get to the level of having a manager. And what I mean by that is establishing somewhat of a fan base, establishing somewhat of an archive of music and videos built up, released, or even non-released, but definitely you want something that's out there in the market already, that's, seen, so a manager can see what you can do. We don't go off of talent solely alone, okay? Nobody in the industry does. I couldn't take your talent to somebody and just say, "Hey, this guy's talented. Well, this girl's real talented. Let's get her a situation." It don't work like that. So you have to understand that. Not get frustrated as an artist because the industry has changed into that, and just adapt. You have to adapt to what's going on around you. Because if you don't adapt to it, guess what you're going to do? You are going to fall back and everything that's already in front of you is gonna get a lot further. You feel what I'm saying? So you have to adapt and adjust and figure out what your niche is in this music, or figure out what your niche is in whatever business you operating, owning, or running. And that's it. Everything is development. Nobody started out with the perfect business or the perfect career on no type of level. So you have to think about that. I'll be touching back with y'all soon, man. It's your boy Trae Gee. You are tuned into Tough Love Podcast. Let's get it. Let's get it.
It's DJ Guate. We're right here live at AE University. It's authentic or nothing. You're now watching the Tough Love Podcast.
We with Tough Love Podcast.
Tough Love Podcast.
The Tough Love Podcast.
You tuned into the Tough Love Podcast.
Tough Love Podcast, baby.